And we are live. I don't know for how long, but we are live. I'm Mike Sinello, co-host of the Liberty Block Live with Dan Rice.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode. It's going to be a challenge here because I'm in Cookeville, Tennessee, with yet again another major storm rolling through, and my power's going out. So I'm on battery backups. I don't know if we're forecasting tornadoes again in the area. This episode is not going to be a snuff show. But if I'm going to go out,
that we know of.
yeah, but if I'm going to go down, it's going to be with Corona. So, Dan, you want to do our disclaimer?
We are not mocking anybody who may have caught this or got sick, seriously sick, anybody who's died. We know it is a real disease. Our issue has always been the reaction to it and whether the numbers match what the fear has been. And we support Corona because it's a tasty beer in the summertime.
Yeah, and they've unfortunately fallen.
Especially with live. Yeah, they were shut down.
Yeah,
they were not considered essential.
Yep, they succumbed to the pratfalls of the Corona legislation and reaction that we were talking about in Mexico, not in this country, but at least in Mexico. So drink it while you got them. The other thing we're going to have to go over here, folks, is, if you like what we do, if what we've done so far over the last few weeks, we know that we've gotten a whole lot more followers. We know that we've gotten a whole lot more people watching our videos and watching our live streams. The thing that if you like our message, if you like the word of liberty, then the most helpful thing you guys can do for us at home is to share this video and share everything, of course, everything else that we put out. But it especially helps us defeat the algorithm, if you will, both on Facebook and on YouTube, if you guys share this video. So the theme for tonight's episode is not the hair that's in my eyes that I'll be brushing aside all day because I can't get a haircut. The theme for tonight's show is going to be spiking. So, Dan, tell the folks what spiking is.
It's a journalism term for when they purposely do not run a story. They kill a story in any way they can that goes against the narrative that they are trying to build.
So there's a million reasons to spike a story. Generally speaking, spike is not used as a term of endearment, to say the least. So the lead, of course, which has been buried for a month, and we haven't talked about it because, like the Covington Catholic boys, we were trying to let this thing unfold. We were trying to. Dan wanted to cover the story.
See where it was going.
Yeah, Dan wanted to cover the story, and at my insistence, I said, let's wait, let's see where this goes, let's get some more information that comes in, and that's the Tara Reade story. Because now that we have a lot more information in, I think it's time to start talking about it. I don't know how far we're going to be able to get with this, and I don't mean that literally, though I don't know how far I'll be able to get on battery power.
Right.
I've got these battery backups for my computer. I got battery backups for my modem, and I've got battery backups for my wireless router. When the power goes out, the power goes out. So sorry, folks. But yeah, so the real story with the Tara Reade situation isn't really the situation itself, but the spiking of the story and the way that the mainstream media has treated this, which is to just flat out not cover it.
Yeah.
Right. And the result is, folks, normally we have media for you. We have articles to show you. We have video to show you. I don't have anything because the media just has not, outside of Mika Brzezinski's interview, which was really well done for a woman who is someone who I would describe as can't understand normal thinking. You guys can figure that out at home. She actually did a wonderful job with this interview, but it didn't come out till like yesterday morning, and YouTube is spiking it. So I don't have any clips for you folks. I don't have any media for you folks because the media isn't covering it.
Right.
And
the Mika interview, you mean, is being spiked also.
Yeah.
To clarify.
I can't find it.
Not just the Reade story, but Mika's interview of Biden where he categorically denied it.
Yeah. And the media outside of Mika Brzezinski the mainstream is giving him a straight up pass on all of this. And the real complaint about the media giving him a pass on all of this isn't that we're suggesting that we're necessarily suggesting that her story is credible. We're not suggesting that her story is one that we're going to just default to believing, right? We're not suggesting that believe all women is a good thing. We're saying hold yourself to your own standards, right?
Yeah. I thought all women deserve to be heard.
Right, and this is why this whole situation is drawing parallels to what happened with Kavanaugh, because with Kavanaugh, the media dove on this story. They couldn't. Their accusers were on the cover of Time magazine.
Right.
Right. Blasey Ford was on every mainstream media talk show the moment this came out, the moment this broke.
Yeah.
So let's do the comparison, because what's come from the woodworks is that every time that Tara Reid mentioned somebody who said she told the story to, they've confirmed it. Right. So at the very least.
Oh, Mike's gone dark. I still see you, Mike. Barely. Mike, you there? Uh-oh. Mike, tornado. We may have lost Mike. His batteries. There he is. He's coming back. It's like watching a Rocky movie here. I cannot hear. I'm trying. All right. Well, Mike's having some technical issues. Hopefully, I can be heard here. And hopefully that is his power coming back. If I can be heard. So what I think what we were getting at was there's a double standard being applied. When Blasey Ford came out, everyone said, including Hollywood, said that the woman has to be heard. We have to assume until we have an absence of evidence that he's back. Until we have an absence of evidence, we have to assume that she's probably telling the truth. And and we're getting complete silence out of the media on this right now. And the Mika story, that's also being spiked. You were about to say, right, before you went dark?
Yeah.
Are you sure the media is not trying to silence you? Let me ask this. Are they trying to what's Mika's boyfriend there? Is he out there unplugging your house?
No, I mean, they would go to extraordinary lengths to silence the likes of folks like me, but I don't think acts of God are within their power.
You never know. They have those weather machines out there.
Yeah, no, one battery backup just crapped out on me, so I've turned off one or two more things. I guess I should put that camera itself on battery rather than on the charger. So if you can bear with me just 1 second, folks.
So I think we're basically at a point where Biden on Mika, when he's being interviewed by Mika, he pretty much categorically, he didn't use the word, but what I heard was he said she's lying.
Basically, which is fine.
Made the hairs on my neck stand up. If she truly is, he better pray to God that she is.
Right, but that's not the standard that he held for Kavanaugh.
That's what I mean. He better pray to God, because he was, like I said, other than not using the actual word liar, I took his statement to basically mean she's lying.
Right,
so
and we're
if
starting to draw
any shred of this that's true.
Right, and
he's toast.
We were starting to draw the parallel between Blasey Ford and Tara Reid. Well, we have, not only do we have an actual, we have actual corroboration, which is what we're talking about. At least that at least tells us her story has been consistent for 30 years. We have a very
several people.
Right, we have a very, very specific location. So it's a specific hallway. We know it exists. We can go to that hallway and say this is where she's alleging these things happened, right?
She
we have a
remembers
very
it to
narrow.
this day.
We have a much more narrow time frame, right? So we have a window of late spring to early summer 1993. We couldn't even nail down a year with Blasey Ford, right? And I mean again, with the corroboration with Blasey Ford, every time that we went to one of her witnesses or somebody who could at least say that she's been consistent in this matter, every one of them categorically denied it. It wasn't even like
Right.
It wasn't even like they're refusing to corroborate it. They said the exact opposite in every single case except for one with that ridiculous rape gang allegation, which just made absolutely no sense from the offset. Joe Biden has a history of feeling up young women, right? And we've all seen it. It's on the tape.
Young women, older women.
Yeah, and especially
babies.
young women, man. The young women thing has been really creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's why CreeperJoe.com exists.
Exactly.
It's not indicative of anything. It's not actual evidence, but one story is significantly more believable than the other, at least in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
And I realize that the court of public opinion can't be held to the standard of the court of law, right? Like the court of law says guilty must be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. We're never going to get that in the court of public opinion, right? We didn't have that technically if with OJ, but we all know he did it, right? So the and the last thing I wanted to bring up, Biden was a senator, Kavanaugh was a 19-year-old frat boy. So what were the risks?
It's the power ratio,
right? What were the risks to bringing up these allegations in 1993? What were the risks to bringing up these allegations in the early 80s? Well, basically nothing.
Blasey Ford basically had nothing to be afraid of a 19-year-old frat boy, whereas it's perfectly reasonable that a Senate staffer would be in fear of. At that time, he was one of the most powerful senators.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even back then. Yeah. He had been in office for years at that point. And yeah, there was a real reason to believe that this wasn't going to get covered, that they were going to just dunk this and then blackball her, right? And blacklist her. And then her life and career is over. So, of course, he talked about how the media we got the double standard in the media. Blasey Ford was on the cover of Time magazine and was on every daily talk show for weeks the moment this news broke. And now the mainstream media won't even give her the time of day with Tara Reid.
Right.
From the offers that I know
of. It's basically Joe said it didn't happen, so why do we need to waste our time looking at it?
Oh, it's the most obvious case of he has a D next to his name, so we don't care.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious case of this, so we don't care. Like we're not going to cover this story. We are going to spike
Which
it.
It's that blatant now. It's getting to the point that it's like they're not even trying to hide this anymore. It's like we're not going to cover it because
so there were credibly confirmable offers from the Daily Wire and from Sean Hannity. Her response to the Daily Wire was, I really want to come out to a more neutral news media outlet. Ben Shapiro said, yeah, that's fine. Right. We're not neutral. We don't hide that ball. Apparently she was supposed to go on tonight with Sean Hannity, and that fell through yesterday afternoon. I guess she had serious fears for her safety for coming on to Fox News, which is old news. Yeah. I mean, Dan, if your prospective employers knew about your politic and your history with us on the Daily Wire, would you be fearful that you wouldn't be getting that job based on that?
If I knew their politics were opposite mine, absolutely.
Do you think anyone in the crazy Bernie communist wing of the department of the left wing, do you think they ever have to worry about their politics interfering with their work?
No, they walk right through the door.
Yeah, because the right wing doesn't care about your politics. We care about how good you do your job, and that's
can you do the job? Yeah.
Yep. So the double standard is
shut up about politics because it's distracting from your job.
Right. So there's no way that Dan and I could, with any great credibility, do this story the justice I think that it necessarily deserves.
Right.
So if you guys are following at home, first things first, share this video. If we manage to make it through this stream, it'll be a miracle. But please share this video. That helps us more than anything. Sydney Watson, who's an Australian YouTuber, does the best job I've ever seen in my entire life of summarizing the media bias. She put out a video. I think it was either super late Thursday night or super early Friday morning. She's in Australia time, so who the hell knows when it was actually released. The time stamping makes no sense. So if you guys want to see an even better take on this than we can give you,
in the comments,
check out the link that's in the comments section. She does the best job I've ever seen in this. No one has done a better job. But going further from this, and this is something I actually got from her video, for the folks at home that know how Me Too worked, right? What followed that up was Time's Up, and it was basically a campaign to get people who had actually been, it was a way of saying, women, you need to come forward with these things, these allegations now. Like you can't be waiting 30 years with these allegations. You need to come out.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to provide you with political backing and monetary backing to bring these cases to light. And that's fine. That's fine.
In terms of a fund, is what you're saying. That's what this Time's Up fund is.
Right, because these allegations are really, really hard to prove, and there is some sort of pushback still today for a non-credible allegation, and that means that bringing litigation can be incredibly socially taxing and expensive. Which is perfectly understandable. Like, I get it. If you want to establish this legal...
And fearful, yeah, because it changes your life. Look at way back with Monica Lewinsky. Look what that did to her.
I mean, it's like accusing a murderer of murder. It's the same thing. Like, there's a real risk... back. Right. If they actually did murder your wife, then there's a serious risk of retaliation there. Yep. And it's legitimate.
Especially if they have power.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that means if they have power, it doesn't have to come directly from them. Right. It can come from somebody under their wing, just like the mob.
Are you saying Epstein didn't kill himself? Is this what I'm hearing?
How Dan, we're struggling already to keep this stream going. Like,
sorry,
do we really need to get
Let's keep going.
Never mind that.
That was meant as humor, Mr. Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that was satire.
Please take it as that. I try to be the satirical relief here.
Oh yeah, we totally believe the mountain of coincidence that we need to believe for us to believe that Jeffrey Epstein.
No. It's all satire.
Moving on. So the Time's Up fund that we just talked about, that we just praised, that we said, you know what, they come from an okay standpoint, won't cover this. They decided they won't get involved with legal funding, and I have to bring this article up so that I can. I can't bring this. I can't bring any of these articles up because we're going to lose our stream if we bring any of these articles up.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is all I'm going to do is read the title of the article. And this is coming from The Intercept, which is by no means even centrist. This is clearly a left-wing organization. Time's Up said it could not fund a Me Too allegation against Joe Biden, citing its non-profit status and his presidential run. What the hell?
Okay.
What the hell? Like, isn't this exactly why you guys exist? Isn't this exactly why you guys poured money into Blasey Ford's litigation?
Sort of their reason for existence, yes.
Well, then who the hell do you exist to fund? Like, what the hell is the reason for your existence at that rate? Yeah. So, I'm not going to use the word bias because it's not just bias. It's way beyond that. This is at this point an obvious form of malice because we have a very, very nearly identical circumstances, and the treatment has been polar opposite.
And the thing is, I'd like to dig a little more into that when I have a chance personally, because I'm not as familiar with it as you. But these allegations are at least 10 years newer than Blasey Ford. If their reason for existence coming into existence was to support Blasey Ford, how can you say something 10 years older is within the time frame that they can operate within, but this one is not, which happened in the 90s.
I mean, the timing, because of what you just said, it's much more convenient, right? right? With Blasey Ford, right? Like Kavanaugh had how many hearings? Like he didn't just go from a nobody to Supreme Court justice. There was a million steps along the way, where the retribution is much lower with every step along the way, right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden went from senator to president. Well, not president,
Vice president, yeah.
To vice president. And now he's the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. Like,
yes.
Like,
I would unless things really go south for him, he'll be the nominee.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that Joe Biden has been a senator for like 40 years.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it wasn't like there was like these incremental steps, right? Where it would have made sense to bring this up, right? If you're going to be doing this as just a pure hit job. And yeah. So again, one case to me is more credible than the other, and it's obviously Tara Reade's being more credible than Blasey Ford's.
Right. Not saying any case is not credible. The point is you should be looking at all of them, where this one they are refusing to look at.
Right. And we're spending too much time in this, so I don't want to talk about how our friends have all been treating this. And
so
how
you want to talk about
just a reasonable interpretation. Just move on to a reasonable interpretation, which is what you were saying, right? One case is significantly more credible than the other. It's obvious which one is more credible. However, Joe Biden is probably due a criminal investigation. And what I mean is he's due process, right? I don't see any reason to drum him up before the Senate and have or the Congress and have some sort of congressional hearing. No. Let the police officers do what they're going to do. If this requires the introduction of the FBI, because there's certain things that like there's certain clearances about information that the local police officers probably don't have. So be it, and then we will let it unfold. I personally am not willing to convict Biden in the court of public opinion. I don't know where you stand on this.
No,
but
we don't do that to anybody. Well, at least our side doesn't do that to anybody.
No, and I'm not willing to say that like we need
everyone
the standard,
gets their trial.
Right, and and in the court of public opinion, I get it. You're not going to have the standard of proof or evidence that you have in a trial procedure, and I'm not willing to hold myself to that standard. That is a very, 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 very high standard, right? We know OJ did it, but he didn't get convicted, and rightly so, because the prosecution botched that presentation.
It was a bad prosecution.
Right. So my standard is not that I need irrefutable proof or evidence, but I do need more before I'm willing to convict in the court of public opinion. I don't know.
We need an investigation. We need an investigation. That's what it comes down to. Allegations have been made. The guy deserves to be exonerated if he truly did nothing as she described. And if he did do something, that needs to be answered to also.
All right, I'm getting beeped at from my battery. So, this sucks. I'm gonna just blow through the introduction to this topic, and hopefully we can get into it. So there's a video of two doctors who are
which we cannot post,
which we can't post because the stream will get pulled, and we can't even post clips of it, which I already have on my computer.
Are we allowed to say their name?
We'll say Dr. Erickson. There's a briefing that a doctor, his name is Dr. Erickson, held with ABC. It's going around the internet. We're going to link to it in the comments. I don't know if the video is running right this moment because it's constantly getting pulled. But the short version is that they absolutely confirmed everything that we've been saying about the coronavirus, and Facebook and YouTube are spiking these. Anytime you see any clips of these, we might even lose the stream just for talking about this, to be honest. And this is confirmed by Tim Pool, whose video confirming what we just said about we're going to lose our stream if we show the video, got pulled.
So the link is up. Let's see how long it takes if we do get pulled.
Yeah. I'm gonna get yanked in about 2 minutes just because that's about how much battery life I got left. And unless say our prayers, we get power back. Yeah.
So they are after us.
So Dan, if you want to carry the show,
that's proof. That's
without,
proof that
without any content, because we don't have any media for this topic either, because we can't post any media.
We don't want to get pulled. Yeah.
Right. So the short version, Dan, you want to just run through the short version of what's going on here, because I'm about to lose power.
So the CDC and WHO have underestimated the cases in the U.S. These two doctors who have a background in epidemiology, they don't currently do it. They run an urgent care clinic, but this is what when they were doing their residency and all the stuff you have to become a